Tricia the grifter strutting down round Bev B's yard. Brown loafer heels clicking like she owning it all. She found a lonely old woman. Tricia got a sparkle in her eye. Sweet tea and sympathy, then wave that phone goodbye.
She coos, oh honey, let me help you text your friends.
Next thing you know, that iPhone sliding in her purse and that phone is gone again.
Inheritance check.
Signed, sealed, delivered with a kiss. Tricia's laughing and dreaming about all the way to the bank. Tricia's got that sparkle in her smile, that devil in her stride.
Stealing purses, phones, and bank accounts.
Bonita Stacy's Clyde.
Tricia the grifter, queen of the con.
Grifting lonely ladies from dusk till dawn.
Phones and fortune, she takes them with glee. Funding her fabulous, ridiculous spree. Gold brooch pin right there on her chest.
Flashing brighter than the lie she tells best.
Tricia the grifter.
Ooh, what a thief living large on somebody else's money.
New fur coat dripping diamonds on her wrist. Attacking John Ramsey, he is at the top of her list. John Bonet, who she tweets with a sneer while sipping champagne that cost a whole year. She's got a brand new wardrobe looking oh so fine, but did she steal those fancy threads from Beth B's closet line?
Closet raid at midnight.
Hangers flying high.
She in best drape.
Waving that brooch to the sky. She's got that sparkle in her smile.
That devil in her stride.
Stealing closets, cash and clout. Watch her take the ride. Tricia the grifter, queen of the con.
Grifting lonely ladies from dusk till dawn.
Phones and fortune, she takes them with glee.
Funding her fabulous, ridiculous spree.
Gold brooch pin right there on her chest.
Flashing brighter than the lie she tells best.
Tricia the grifter.
Ooh, what a thief living large on somebody else's greed.
All right. You guys are doing really good today. I'm doing great. And I really didn't think that I would have any time to go live today, but I found a little bit of time. So here I am. I am what I am. So welcome. All right. We've already kind of reviewed this video. This isn't a new one. We went ahead and did it already, but I've been super bothered by this whole manipulative nonsense, that in my opinion, nonsense that Tricia and Stacy Ribbit put into play. Like, I'm really disturbed by what they're doing. And I think it deserves some more attention. Okay. And what I mean by I think it deserves more attention is this. I think you can't. So one of the ways that bullies work is they gather together their little minions, flying monkeys, Tricia, that, if you think back to you think back to the Wizard of Oz, you have the Wicked Witch, and then she's got all of her flying monkeys to actually do her dirty work, right? In other words, the witch in Wizard of Oz, she doesn't get on her broomstick and fly to get Dorothy and the lion and the Tin Man and the Scarecrow. She doesn't like round them up herself, like have to fight them, grab them, fly them back to the castle, then go get another one and capture them and fly them back to the castle. She didn't do that. She says, go collect these four. Fly, now fly, now fly. And then, I suppose the Wicked Witch sits around in the castle eating bonbons until they bring Dorothy and her trio back to the castle where she can, right, destroy them. Who's the witch in this scenario? Y'all want to take a guess? Who's the witch? If we look at the four, we've got Wawin, got Lauren Matthias, we have John Matthias, then we have Websleuths, and then we have Duty Ron, correct? And there's probably more. Oh, I guess you could say there's Megan, right? So let's just keep it simple. It's the Matthias, Hidden True Crime, Websleuths, Megan, and then Duty Ron, right? That's the Wicked Witch group that are exerting force on little Dorothy. Who's Dorothy? Christina. Although that's not completely true because we've got Christina, we've got Tricia, we've got Kay and Larry Woodcock, we have Janice. There's other people, Colby. There's other people that have been mistreated by the Wicked Witch, which is Lauren Matthias and John Matthias, right? Okay. Now remember, the focus of this conversation, what is bullying and what is accountability, right? And so what Tricia did by taking the death of Daryl Sheets, listen, Tricia, I don't know how many times you can make normal people stand back and go, she did what? Like your behavior is so far outside of that boundary of that's not okay. That's not an okay way to treat people. It's not an okay way to behave. The things that you've done defy, I guess I don't want to say logic because I get the logic. I understand the logic. You find an elderly woman that may be bored, maybe a bit lonely. She gets involved in your channel. What does she bring to the table? She brings money to the table. What do you bring to the table? You bring friendship. You moved across the country to live within a few miles of this lady and then become her jailer, AKA constant companion. I don't know what we're going to call it because quite frankly, I find your reaction to the obituary shockingly weird. But for the sake of argument, let's just say that you moved yourself 7 states, 8 states across the country where you didn't know, by your own description, you didn't know anyone in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Just to move a few miles from her house where you then become the constant companion, jailer. Listen, let me explain this, Tricia. I have a best friend daughter. Like, love her. She and I together took 15 Disney World trips, just she and I, from the time she's a little bitty girl up until she's a young adult. 15 times. I've been to Disney World 21 times my whole life. 15 times me and my daughter went to Disney World. We are friends. We even have like arguments and fights and nobody cares. because it's just normal. We love each other. We get irritated with each other. We're great friends, right? I have a best friend daughter. I have the best son-in-law that the world could ever hope for. He's the dude. He's a great guy. He is. Love him like he's my son. Trust him. I trust him with my life. He's a great guy. And then I have 3 precious grandchildren. I waited so long to get grandkids. They fill my heart with joy, truly. Now, the reason that I go through this whole thing about, this family is this. Every single day that I wake up in my tropical paradise that I love, right outside my window, right out there. Every day I wake up and I think, oh gosh, I wish that I was with my grandkids, my sweet daughter. I wish I was there so I could get a hug from my sweet mini me. I wish I was there so I could hold and rock the babies. I wish I was there so my son-in-law could cook my favorite chicken dumplings in the whole world. He is a magnificent cook. I wish I was there to play, Farkle with my daughter and my son-in-law. I wish I was there. I wish I lived there. I wish I was there. And you know what? I got licensed so that I could move when I'm ready. So why haven't I moved? Anybody want to take a guess? Why do you think I have all of these great, wonderful, magnificent things in God's most beautiful country? The area, the mountains in Colorado, oh my gosh. On the other side, they've got like this highlands, what's it called? Steppe, where it looks like the Old West, right? I mean, it's so beautiful. There's waterfalls, hiking, wild horses, bald eagles. Like here we have crows, bald eagles everywhere. It's a beautiful place. People, why haven't I moved? What do you guys think? Agreed, Elizabeth. Agreed. Why haven't I moved? No, I can work there just like I work here. I'm licensed to work there. And when I visit, I actually do work when I'm there. It's difficult to pick your life up and move and make a new home, right? It's a lot. It's hard to pack everything up and load it up and move it, find a new place, whether you're going to buy or rent or whatever. But to move and then get everything set up and get all of the utilities hooked up, and it's hard. Physically hard, but it's also emotionally hard. Leaving your home there's an emotional loss there. I have an incredible son and daughter-in-law that I love just as much as I love the other side of my family. The idea to pack up and load up I don't know if I'm ready to do that. I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'm ready to make such a dramatic change in my life. Like I've got it set up. I can work there legally. I've got a license. I can do that. I've considered, so I had rented an apartment for a year so that I could help my daughter. She had some health issues. And now I'm at the point of, should I just rent a place and split my time between home and there? Or should I just go ahead and take a deep breath and make that move? Like, is it time? So the reason that I'm bringing this up as a topic of conversation is this. I have 5 excellent reasons to be there. I have 2 excellent reasons to be here. My son and his wife, who are adorable. We see each other all the time. I love them. They're great. Everything's great. But you know how those grandbabies are, right? Oh, I miss my daughter so much. I'm so excited to have the grandbabies, and I want them every morning when I wake up. But as I look around my house and I think about packing everything, and I look out my window, because I have been blessed. I have a very beautiful place that I live. And I just am not quite sure if I'm ready to do this, right? I'm trying to be smart, and I'm trying to be thoughtful and mindful and careful, right? Okay. My point of this, what the hell is going on with Tricia that she's living in her hometown? She's got a log cabin. Her brother lives on the same property, I think. This is where she's always lived. This is where she's grown up. This whole thing about her log cabin was falling down, that's inaccurate. We have depositions and legal documents that prove, yes, the cabin did require roof repairs, but that was way back. She just kept using that story to steal people's money, right, through fraud. But it wasn't happening at the time that she literally picked up and moved to Dallas, Fort Worth. Like a year before this poor lady died. Tricia, things look really precarious where you're standing here in this story. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, okay, let's be fair here. What if the only reason that she wanted to leave is she was lonely? I don't know how she would be lonely if she's living in the area she grew up. She's living next door to her brother. My brother and I, we cook together. We go out to eat. We fish. We do all kinds of stuff together. So I don't know why you would be lonely. Of course, my other brother, don't claim. But so why, if he's letting her live in his log cabin, why would she be lonely? She's talked about her grandkid, or not her grandkid, her niece or nephew. So I'm a little confused by that, but I don't know anything about the facts of your life. But, okay, so let's say maybe for whatever reason, you don't have any family. You don't have any friends in the town you grew up in. So maybe you're lonely too. Maybe you're lonely. Maybe Beth B is lonely. And then you think, yeah, if I moved, then maybe I would have a friend and I would have something to go do and I wouldn't feel so lonely. I don't know how you can be lonely being the matriarch of the great and famous Websleuths website and all of your YouTube friends. It's not for me to judge, but I don't know how you could be lonely, because when I come here and hang out with you guys, I don't feel lonely. I read your comments. I talk about whatever I'm thinking about. I go over and watch Jolene or Jay or whoever. And it's companionship. It fills your time. But let's just benefit of the doubt here, right? So then I think, okay, so she does it because she wants to have a friend, a rich friend. Maybe she decides she goes to ingratiate herself to a wealthy woman in the hopes that she gets mentioned in the will, maybe. I mean, that's kind of sad and pathetic, but people definitely do it. right? And then I thought, okay, I'm scared I'm going to make a mistake by moving to where my grandkids are. You don't think that Tricia was scared of making a mistake moving across the country, not knowing anyone literally but Beth B? That just is very hard to believe. How many of you guys, maybe I'm thinking about it wrong, how many of you guys would have a friend online and that friend would say, hey, come live where I live, let's be besties, and you would say, great, that is the super idea. Let me load up my jalopy and drive across the nation to a person that I don't know other than online. If you would do that, if you would move across the country to live near, be friends with someone who's 20 years older than you, and you've never met them in real life, if you would do that, upend your life to go live in Dallas, put a 1. If you don't see, if you think that would be so easy to do and not a challenge at all, put a 2. Because I'm feeling like maybe I'm being a little bit silly about this. I'm trying to be super careful where it comes to my grandkids, that I don't make a mistake making that move. And that's a hell of a lot more important than some friend that I've never met in real life, right? It's weird. It's kind of scary. You could not pull me away from my current village for an internet pal. KJ, look, I'm having a hard time separating from my little nest that I've built here to go be with these incredibly miraculous, beautiful children. It is not normal to just say, oh, this is my home and I'm going to leave it. I don't have any ties here. I'm just going to go and be with a stranger. That is very strange. Unless, here, let me give you another circumstance. What if somebody said to me, hey, I would like for you to come to work for us. All you have to do is work for us for 9 months of the year. 3 months are yours, and we will buy you a house and we will pay you $1 million for that 9 months. Who thinks I would pack up and go for that opportunity? You bet. 9 months of work and you're going to pay me $1 million. Give me a house. Hell yeah, I'm there. I'm there for it. It's an investment, right? It's a short time lived experience where the benefit, the payoff is going to be enormous. A free house, $1 million for 9 months of work? Hell yeah, I'll leave Galveston for 9 months, right? Free houses, money, paid off Lexuses. So those 2 examples, they kind of open your eyes a little, don't they? They kind of make you stop and go, yeah, that is kind of weird. That Tricia just says, let me go live with my friend. Let me go make myself indispensable to her. Now, you might be saying, yeah, but maybe, she didn't want to go in a nursing home, blah, blah, blah. Well, number one, she was healthy. She could get around. She was smart as she could be. She was doing great. So she wasn't needing health care. She wasn't needing like physical support, right? this lady had $1 million estate. She would have been able of going into like an assisted living place. Let me tell you something. Down here in Texas, I don't know what it's like in the rest of the world, the country, but in Texas, we have some independent, either assisted living or independent living places that are luxurious. Like one of them where I will pop in and see a few patients and then leave. One of them, if you're a resident there, they take you to the Astros game where they actually have a box. When I say luxurious, I'm not kidding, okay? They take these ladies to the Nutcracker Market every year. They rent limousines and they load the old ladies up in the limousines and drive them to Nutcracker Market where they spend the day shopping way too expensive Christmas decorations that benefit the Houston Ballet, and then drives them back home, at the end of the day, usually drunk. But there are assisted living places in Dallas, Houston, other areas of Texas that are they're new, they're luxurious, their beauty salon is there where they live. They have 5-star chefs that make them dinner at night. They have artists that come in and teach them how to do different crafts and different hobbies. They have workout facilities with people that come in and teach them, like physical therapists, come in and teach them how to stay strong and healthy. I mean, this is next to growing old in Florida. Texas is a really good second choice. We got it going on, okay? So why would this woman with $1 million, why wouldn't she want to go to a place like that? She'd have a private apartment. Nurse would come by and check on her if they needed. She'd have a maid that would come in and take care of all of her cleaning needs and hygiene stuff. Why would her decision be to stay in her house where a stranger is going to now start coming in and taking over your life? I knew everyone in contact with Beth B. Nobody contacted her. I knew everyone who texted her. I knew everyone who called her on the phone. She had nobody. Nobody visited her. Nobody came. I was it. I was the only one. Tricia. Well, was Beth B willing to your little arrangement? Because I'm going to guess no. I'm going to guess you showed up and Beth B lost control of her life. I'm so bothered, Tricia, by the fact that you stole this woman's telephone. I wake up at night and that's the first thing I think about, because I'm thinking there is a real crime here. So are we talking about you using Daryl Sheet's death, saying basically that those creators that are really disturbed by what you have done to Beth B, what you're in the process of doing to Beth B, what you did to Mr. H, what you've done to hundreds, thousands of other web sleuths where you took smaller amounts of money? Are you being cyber bullied? Or are people really scared of you and what you have done to this 85-year-old woman who is now no longer with us, but you are using the court to steal her estate? Are we being cyber bullies, or are people really thinking maybe people need to know who you actually are, the way you do things, so that they can protect their own inheritance, so they can protect their small Social Security check. That's different. Those two things are different. So I think you taking Daryl Sheets' death and then using it as a source of manipulation with your subscribers to try to say that me and Jay and Jolene and Dreadful Penny, that, or Hella, that we're murderers. Now, you may have some subscribers that are dumb enough to believe that, dumb enough to fall for that type of manipulation. The majority, though, are not that dumb because they're true crime people and they understand about fraud. They understand what manipulation is, exploitation. So I think you invited extra scrutiny when you did the next egregious thing, which was to turn a man's tragic death into your tool of destruction to bully us, right? Okay. So I don't know just me, but let me tell you this. Hey, Christina, good to see you. Oh my gosh, Stream Feed Media could not have been more professional, empathetic, or perfect. It was great. Absolutely. So let's take a listen to this. There we go. Now, look, it's not my computer. I have a kick-ass computer. I bought a kick-ass computer. Something is wrong with StreamYard, that when you play a video and you're on a live, it will just stop occasionally the shared resources. I bought a computer that has more than enough RAM to manage the best processor that there is, tons of RAM, the whole 9 yards. It's still doing it. It's not me, I promise. I also changed my internet provider, so whatever's wrong with StreamYard, and I'm in the process of getting a different service, so this will stop. So if I freeze, please forgive me, okay? But I did turn down, I turned down everything, so like I'm on, I think like 470, and I think I've got her video on 472, so I hope we don't freeze, but if I do, my apologies. And the title of this video of Tricia's, Bullied to Death.
Urging people to intervene when they see harmful behavior. As a matter of fact, if you have somebody in your life that thinks it's funny to cyberbully other people, may that be a celebrity, athlete, or little girl at school. Slap them in the back of the head. Make them become a better human being.
Now listen to again how she starts this.
Matter of fact, if you have somebody in your life that thinks it's funny to cyberbully other people, as a matter of people shouldn't cyberbully at all. Us. Okay. That's anybody. That's an athlete. You shouldn't cyberbully at all. Now, he broadened his message, urging people to intervene when they see harmful behavior.
Intervene when they see harmful behavior. That's accountability, isn't it? That Daryl Sheets said, intervene when you see harmful behavior. I don't know about you guys. Do you think that Tricia was in the past, continues today, and will likely do it in the future? Do you see her doing harmful behaviors? What do you guys think? Has she engaged in harmful behaviors or not? Oh, did it keep working, Cinnamon? Yay! Good. I know, Dream Feed, for sure. Yeah, slap a little kid in the back of the head. I don't care if it's a little girl. Slap them in the back of the head. Make them behave. Tricia, what are we doing right now, honey? Me, Everyday with Jay, Dreadful Penny, Hella, Jolene. What are we doing right now? Crescia, what are we doing? Tricia, you are being slapped in the back of the head. That's what you're doing. You're being slapped in the back of the head because we, being honest people, the collective group of these creators, we being empathetic, responsible, intelligent people, we are seeing someone who is hurting others. Real hurt, real life, real world hurt. Not just someone online saying something mean about you. The idea that you stole this woman's phone, the idea that once you moved to Dallas, not knowing this woman at all other than like online, but you went and then you locked her life down, I would say somebody needs to do an investigation. The fact that she is thriving and blowing and going, and you move there, and within a year, this lady's dead. Not only did she die within a year of you moving there, but weird things changed in your life. You suddenly began to be a vintage clothed, narcissistic, geriatric beauty queen. Now, previously, well, a lot of times you look like you had hella hangover. Maybe I'm wrong, but something was not okay. Your clothes were dirty, frumpy. Your hair was unkempt. You had a scarf wrapped around. You looked like you were trying to put yourself out of your misery with that scarf, right? And I'm thinking, this is bizarre. I'm sorry. Look, just being an outsider looking in, how do you go from that to wearing vintage clothing that could be worth thousands of dollars? I mean, like your Saturday Night Live's, outfit here. I don't know. So you make this move. Don't know anybody in Dallas, Texas. Never the mind that Dallas is an extremely dangerous, city. But there you go, to be with someone you don't know. And that person gets you an apartment, or you get your own apartment, a couple of miles from her house? Really? Really? I don't want to be a couple of miles from my grandkids' house. I want to give them some space, right? So that my daughter and her husband can feel like independent adults, and mom is not peeking through the blinds. I wonder if the little kiddos are ready for Granny to come over and play. Okay, we don't need to do that crap. I'm going to put some space between us out of respect. These are my family members, Tricia. What are you going to do? You are moving within miles that you never have to be without knowledge of what she's doing. And I would like the police to know if you put monitoring software on Beth B's phone. Is that why you had to steal it? Because you had put software on the phone that made it pop, like a key logger, where you could see anything and everything that she was doing on her phone. Your exact words, I got that phone. I got that phone. And believe me, there's people that want that phone. What the? Are you listening to yourself? Why did you need to steal her phone? That's the question. No speculation involved, just a rational, logical thought. I stayed with my dad 2 weeks. I think I left the hospital one time to go take a shower at the hotel room. Everybody that was staying with him, we got a hotel room so we'd have a place to like go sleep a couple hours or take a shower or whatever. One time I stayed with him, other than, in his room, I could, get cleaned up or whatever. But it was a waiting game. We just had to wait it out. They were going to try to move him and couldn't do it. But one time I left. He was my person. That was the biggest loss of my whole life. And when he died, I didn't say, where's the phone? Where's the phone? Where's the phone? That's wild. The idea of walking out of the hospital that day it was like being in a dream world. It was surreal. I just couldn't figure out what my life was going to look like without my dad. I just couldn't figure it out. So the idea that this person that I loved, that was so valuable to me, that I would worry about getting his watch or getting his telephone or getting anything that was valuable, right? It just was not real. It just wasn't. So how did you get there? Like, what took you to that moment that you said, the old bat is dead. Let me get that phone. Oh, I better get that Faraday bag ready. Did you buy it beforehand in preparation for the moment that she would be dead? Because if you did, then my next question would be, how long before she died did you get on Amazon and order a Faraday bag? That would be something the police could investigate. The police can absolutely get your Amazon records and just look, when did she buy it? How soon before Beth B died did you buy the Faraday bag? Because the Faraday bag shows you have a plan. You knew you had to hide the phone from Daphne. What is this, Sammy? She said she changed the Apple password and she keeps getting nervous that Daphne's trying to log in. Beth left her literally nothing except maybe the bookshelves. Why does she have the phone? She said, oh. So Christina, we are not in Kansas anymore, honey. She tells on herself, like if you go back and you listen really close to the lives, there are things that she says that if you're looking at it like premeditation kind of idea, like, oh, what made you do that? What were you thinking there? Why would you buy a Faraday bag? Somebody help me understand. Who needs a Faraday bag? Do you know what they are? Right? They cut off, they block contact with your electronics, so that if there is like a sunspot, like a very powerful sunspot, if there's an EMP detonation, if there's a nuclear explosion, your device will keep working. It insulates your phone or your iPad or your computer or whatever. It keeps that machine from getting zapped by an EMP or a low-level nuclear device. So sure, if you're military, maybe you do have Faraday bags. You're used to them. If you have some reason to believe that there might be a massive solar, explosion, maybe you're prepper and you think, I don't want my phone to get zapped by the sun. Or maybe you're afraid of the government. So you put your stuff in the Faraday bag and then the government won't know what you're up to. But none of those situations actually apply to Tricia, right? So is this a situation where you just wanted to block Daphne from finding the phone? That you just wanted to be able to go, I don't know where the phone, somebody, the nurse, one of the nurses stole the phone. You just can't trust anyone anymore, can you, Tricia? You know what, Duty Ron? It sure seems like to me, with your background and history and your friends, seems like to me about now, you'd be looking at this story and have your detective cap on. Why the Faraday bag? Why does this chick even have a Faraday bag? You want to know something really silly, Tricia? All you had to do was take the phone and put it in your microwave. That would have done the trick. But that wouldn't have quite worked, would it? You can't walk around with a microwave in the hospital while you're waiting for your friend to die. But you could a Faraday bag. So my thoughts are, Tricia, you knew the lady was going to die, and you knew that you were going to take the phone before she died, in my opinion. People don't just walk around with a Faraday bag. Oh, here's my Faraday bag. Let me take out the phone, make a phone call, and put it back in the Faraday bag. That doesn't work, because when you take it out, now it's communicating. No, you knew. You took it because you didn't want there to be a connection between that phone and some service somewhere that might provide metadata, that might show where did it go, who got it. Now, why did you get it? I don't know. That is your question to answer. And you don't need to answer it to me. You need to answer it to the authorities. There are other problems in this. There's other problems where she speaks and she reveals herself. And then you say, that is very strange. The timing of that is very odd. And you know what, Tricia? Everybody's got your videos downloaded. They're all downloaded. They're all preserved on external hard drive. Not by me, everybody. Because we are people that sense something dangerous happened. And we have people from your lawsuits. We have people that have come forward with their own stories of fraud, where you found an elderly person, an old man who had lots of money. You seem to target him, and he's willing to talk. And he believes that, you got about $50,000 from him. The lady that invested in Websleuths, that you violated her over and over and over, and you play dumb. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, well, as you sit there in your vintage clothing with all the shit that Beth B bought 4 months after she died? Really? That's magic. But of course, people, don't forget, Beth B does text Tricia from beyond the grave. Did you forget that? Oh, yeah. Be me. I don't think that's what that was at all. I think you were about to post, be me, a lady who makes a friend and a year later is a millionaire. That's what I think the be me was. But I admit, the idea that Beth is messaging you from the grave, that's a lot more fun. Much more interesting story, for sure. All right. Mind swimmers, you know what? I have that thought. If I was watching one of the people that I really like, and then let me use Jolene Lunzer as an example. She's hilarious. Like, sometimes I wake my husband up at night because she says something and it just makes me like just bust out laughing. I guffaw. Okay. And he's like, "What are you doing? Why are you laughing?" I'm like, "Never mind. Just go back to sleep, honey." Okay. If I was watching her and then she said, "Don't watch this other creator," I would go, "Wow, bad, wrong answer." That would probably be enough to make me stop watching her, because it's manipulation. It's manipulative. And it leaves you with this thought of, what's she hiding? What is it that Jolene doesn't want me to hear from this other person, right? It's not good to tell someone what they can listen to, who their creators they enjoy will be. It's not, there's always something nefarious about that action that people should question. So yeah. Now remember what you just listened to, okay? Look at that look on her face. Look at the fury in her face. Let me see if I can get it there. There we go. What does that look like? Does that look like a nice lady? Does that look like a little dingbat from Utah? I don't know. I just don't know why I spent that money. I don't know. This is talking to lawyers. Her saying to every question, "I don't know. I don't know. I don't know." Yeah. Yes. Christina. Websleuths said people could not defend Christina again, like we're in the Lauren Matthias situation. And don't you start saying things about, don't you stand up for her. Banned the Websleuthers from defending this woman who was ganged up on by Lauren and John Matthias. Duty, there were like 1 million subscribers up against a single woman with literally no presence on YouTube. No way to protect herself. No way to put her story out there. It was nuts. Nuts. Who do you think the bully is, people? Who's the bully? It's wild. Look at her face right here. Does that look like a ditzy old lady? I don't know. Or does that look like a cold, hardened grifter who really doesn't give a shit what anyone thinks of her? All she cares about is money, 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 money. That's it. That's it. Right? And yet she goes live here and she starts telling her subscribers, those bullies are going to kill us. Jules a thought, or AKA allegedly innocent, she's going to kill me. Every day with Jay, she's going to kill me. Jolene, Hella, Dreadful Pink's going to kill me with their bullying, just like Daryl Sheets. Just like Daryl Sheets was killed by his cyberbullies. No, Daryl Sheets' son was battered, bludgeoned. Those were not stories being made up, gossip around the internet. And what Beth B experienced wasn't cyber either. You moved across the country to move into an apartment a couple of miles from her actual house. And from the moment you got there, that woman did not leave her house or go in her house. She didn't have any visitors. But you began to come up with things like fancy clothes, expensive jewelry, and magically 4 months after she dies, Beth B manages to make a huge investment in Websleuths by putting up your bookshelves and putting all kinds of fun, cute, vintage decorations that, let's face it, people, aren't those the kind of things that you would find in your grandmother's house? Did you, in fact, plunder this woman and her home? Don't get indignant, Tricia. Don't act like, that's an absurd thought. You're the one sitting there with someone else's telephone in a Faraday bag, hiding it from Daphne, the woman that actually had the will of Beth B. So we, the collective we, Dreadful Penny, all of us, Hella, all of us that have covered the story, we see something dangerous. And by Daryl Sheets' own words, he said, I don't care who it is. If it's a professional athlete, if it's a little girl, and they're bullying someone, slap them on the back of the head and make them behave. You, Tricia, are being slapped on the back of the head. You are hurting people. You're taking people in their real lives and damaging them by exploiting them, taking their money. That $50,000 that you encouraged Mr. H to separate himself from, that was money that could have gone to his grandchild. That was money that he may one day need for memory care or assisted living. Hell, that's money that he could have used to take a trip around the world before he dies. That was money he worked for. That was money he saved, something you have no idea about. All you've ever done was to consume, destroy, and discard. So I take serious issue with your virtue signaling as you sit on your diamond encrusted velvet sofa that actually was developed for teenage girls' rooms. As you sit on your diamond encrusted sofa in your vintage 1970s women's wear and your expensive jewelry, excuse the shit out of me if I don't feel bad about just asking questions about the truth. Things that are verifiable through court documents or your own videos, Tricia. Somehow I think at the end of the day, the police are not going to look at me like I'm the cyberbully that drove Daryl Sheets to death. Somehow I think the cops are going to look at your situation and go, this is very strange. It does seem to be a long line of people authentically damaged in a really profound way. And for that part of the equation, what the hell is Hidden True Crime doing? What the hell is Lauren and John Matthias doing exploiting you? What made them confident to say, oh, I know what I'll do. First, I'll do 9 hours of me snotting up a hotel room. Then John will do 4 hours making himself look like a little pansy. Then I'll go on Websleuths and use her subscribers to attack people. And when I'm done with that, then I'll go to Duty Ron with his 500,000 subscribers. That should make people shut up and leave me alone. Oh, we got another one, Megan. Oh, there you go. You're in great company, Tricia. You look at Megan like she's a moral authority. Sorry, of the whole group that Lauren exploited for her bad deeds, to protect her from the reality that she bullied one woman, Christina, very publicly, 9 hours crying and snotting when she didn't get her way in the court system. And that John Matthias wanted to put Christina in jail for 25 years, prison, 25 years. She didn't give a shit what she said and did to Tricia. She did not offer apology one for filming Larry Woodcock as his heart broke. She never acknowledged that the 144 roses was in terrible taste and highly, highly inappropriate. Not a single solitary apology, nothing to a family that has already lost so much. And you sit on that stupid blue sofa and think that you are the moral authority to lecture us about cyberbullying. You know what? The world you live in doesn't even it doesn't even resemble what is appropriate behavior in my world. Moving across the country and then proclaiming to the world, Beth B, I was with her every day. You want to know something, Tricia? I wouldn't be with my daughter every single day. I don't sit 24 hours a day with my husband, and I love the hell out of him. We laugh. All we do is laugh together. We have a great time together. I wouldn't sit with him 24 hours a day. Hell no. It's not natural. People need variety. But you move across the country to move into a shitty apartment a few miles from Beth B's house where you then proceed to, quotation marks, according to you, be with her every single day. And nobody was coming to visit her. She wasn't having any conversations with anyone but you. You were it. By choice? Was that Beth B's choice? I guess we'll never know, right? Why? The phone is gone. It's not just gone. It's being stored safely in a Faraday bag by the woman who magically ended up with a whole new studio backdrop 4 or 5 months after Beth B is in heaven and texted you, be me. I'm struggling to figure out what part of this story do you feel like is believable, like really? And getting a search warrant to find out when you purchased the Faraday bag, that's a really good start. So you keep your little greasy fingers on that telephone at all costs. I don't know what you're doing with it. I don't know how it benefits you, but you're hiding something. Was it because you installed a keylogger on the phone? Is that what you did? There you go. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel as if Christina is most likely the most meek or nicest of the group. Christina is the most normal of the group. Let's be very clear. Yeah, she's a sweetheart. It is mind-boggling that John and Lauren Matthias power, money, influence, they picked out Christina to go after. What I mean? So yeah, these are not nice people that are doing this. The very fact that Tricia would use a man's death as a weapon to try to hurt people that were sounding the alarm. Hey, look at what this lady's doing. This is not okay. This is dangerous. Look at this. And now she's the victim. She's the one being cyberbullied. You are not being cyberbullied. You are getting slapped on the back of the head by people saying, we see you, and you are harming people. And enough is enough is enough. And I'll say it again, the likes of Websleuths, the likes of Megan, the likes of Lauren Matthias, even worse, John Matthias. If these are your associates, Tricia, these are your people, no thanks. Y'all are a bad group. You are the bullies. You guys gathered up your big channels and came together with all your influence and all your money, and you thought you were going to shut everybody up. Because I believe, if I remember correctly, I think it was John that said it. Maybe it was Lauren. One of them, I'll have to find it. One of them said that if they took Christina to court, right? If she got in trouble, had some kind of legal issues, she faced public humiliation at CrimeCon, which was completely uncalled for. I think what they said was something like, if Christina got in trouble, if she was hurt, then no one would believe her. So it would be like a warning to other people, anyone that crossed Lauren. So Tricia would not say anything bad about her out of fear That was the whole operating system with Lauren, with John Matthias. Fear. Let's put Christina in jail. That'll show them. Then the rest of them will leave us alone. Not once, never, not a single time did Lauren or John Matthias say these words. I didn't say that. Not once. Not once did she try to defend herself by saying, oh, these were all lies against me. These were all made up lies. It was things like, oh, well, people stole private communication. Nobody stole any private communication. That's not what happened, not by a long shot. But he was fast, thinking he was smarter than everybody else. He was fast trying to figure out, okay, this is what we have. How do we like mold it and play with it into a crime? And then he said those fateful words. If we could get 5 instances, each one punishable by 5 years, she could go to jail for 25 years. I'm sorry, John. Are you or are you not a licensed psychologist? Because that would be directly against your code of ethics. That's not the way we treat people. We don't walk around and try to get them thrown in prison without there being broken laws. And that's exactly what you were trying to do. And for what purpose? To save the kingdom. You make me sick. All right. Okay, everybody. I gotta go. Also, why Lauren Matthias does not like Janice. Janice is not the type to fall at someone's feet. She speaks her mind. Lauren is jealous and afraid of a person like that. These women, they're jealous of people with integrity. They're jealous of people that don't need admiration or can't be swayed by money. They're jealous of that. And I can promise you this, Tricia, who has nothing, who's hungry for money, coming under the attention of someone like Lauren and John with a lot of, at this point in time, a lot of money, that combination of the two is very dangerous. People get hurt. They get really hurt. It's like the narcissist codependent coupling. You end up on the 6 o'clock news if you end up in that kind of relationship. All right. I gotta go. And they're all very pretty. Yes. Compared to who? Yeah. It's interesting that her chosen friends, don't look like the lovely ladies that we all admire and like so well. Right. All right. None of her colleagues asked her about it or gave her a heads up because they heard it and thought, yeah, that checks out. Bingo. That's it. All right. She most definitely wrote that Proton email. Oh, absolutely. No doubt, Janice. You know what I thought? You can almost hear her voice speaking it. Even with the sassy inflection, right? I know. Preaching to the choir. Preaching to the choir. All right. So who's the bully? Who's the bully? You are. You're the bully, Tricia. You're worse than that. You're the flying monkey. Lauren is the wicked witch. She's the one commanding the power, the money, the attention, the influence. John is supporting his little queen. You and Megan? Easy. You're the stereotypical flying monkeys. And I, for one, want to know when in the hell you purchased a Faraday bag. And I have no doubt in my mind it was bought off of Amazon. So it'll be easy to find out. All right, you guys. Let's, you guys have a wonderful afternoon. I do have to go. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Welcome to the circus, the true crime YouTube scene, where dramas, the a star, and the facts aren't so clean. She's on her channel, she's screaming with flair. J Duck's poor Nana, her
Please hit
address
the
is
thumbs
bare.
up and subscribe.
The drama volcano, it's ready to blow. Subs grab their popcorn for the Crama show. It's Crama's true crime circus. Round and round we go. Not much truth, just trauma, stealing all the show. Narcissism, borderline, maybe psychopathy, fueling all the chaos in this YouTube spree. The ladies are screeching, they're hurling those names. Snake, liar, fraud. It's their favorite game. No problems defined, no solution in sight. Just a merry-go-round of emotional fights. Subs egg it on, they're loving the mess. Trauma bonding nightly in this hot circus press. It's crazy.